Hey, what if you've been noticing this week? It has been brutally hot. My AC needs a vacation from this summer weather, but we have some good news in store. Marginally good news, that is, that it's not going to be quite as hot, and there might actually be some rain in the old forecast. Candace Campos has the full story.
The heat is back on across Central Florida. Not extreme heat, but certainly enough for heat advisories across most of the area. And that's going to continue between 12 and 7. As feels like temperatures back up between about 108 to 112 degrees. But we are adding more rain to the forecast. Our coverage for today goes up to about 50%, favoring inland zones. Then as we head into the weekend, higher rain chances becoming a little more widespread. Coverage goes all the way up to about 70%. And when it comes to the tropics, though, although we're not watching anything new developing in the next couple of days, we are certainly watching for that potential of more development starting up as we ring in the month of August. Now, looking at our temperatures today versus the record, we broke several records yesterday, even Sanford hitting 100 degrees. But you can see for today, we are going to be shy of those records just a bit by 2-3 degrees. 97 will be our high in Orlando and Sanford, 96 from Daytona Beach, even into the Leesburg area. So again, heat warnings remain in effect. A heat advisory as those feels like temperatures once again could get up to about 112, but not exceeding that like it did on Tuesday. So as we take you here hour by hour, so you can plan out your Wednesday. Rain chances for today up to about 40 to 50%. Our highs in the meantime again in the upper 90s. Notice rain chances will be a touch lower right along the coastline as a sea breeze pushes inland. I-475, that will be that zone where we will have our highest chance for rain. So let's show you what that percentage looks like on our future cast. By 1-2 o'clock, we will start to see a couple of scattered showers starting to bubble up across our inland zones. Still pretty scattered between I-95 and 75 between 4 or 5 o'clock. But again, those sea breezes come together and they will turn into almost like kind of a zipper effect right along the I-4 corridor around 9-10 o'clock. Could see some rock and thunderstorms even late into the evening. We had some late storms yesterday. I do see that potential again, even probably a better chance of those nighttime storms. Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas will be pinpointing more on that as the sun goes down as well. But then as we continue to kind of progress into the next couple of afternoons, we are going to increase the chance for rain as an area of low pressure with a trailing cold front continues to kind of sag a bit further south into North Florida. This front's not going to be bringing us any cool changes, but it certainly will be bringing more storms into the forecast. And that's why we're going to see those rain chances go up to about a 40 to 50, up to about a 60 to 70% though for the weekend and into early next week. Quick check on the tropics. No new tropical development is expected within the next 7 days, but the Climate Prediction Center is starting to kind of highlight some zones that we could potentially start seeing development happening. So the CPC is kind of highlighting this zone in and around the eastern seaboard, around Florida between August 6th and August 12th as the kids are heading back to school. And then a bit beyond that, about 2 weeks out, it looks like we will have the potential between August 13th and 19th to see maybe a tropical wave develop into something. Again, as of right now, nothing of concern, but certainly moving into more of that busier time of the season. So as we get results here, the full 7-day forecast, better chance of rain, which will at least help temperatures cool down slightly back into those mid-90s.
So overnight, there was an earthquake that struck off the coast of Russia, 8.8 magnitude quake. Not the strongest ever recorded, but a very strong earthquake. Now, the ripple effect from that is the tsunami warnings that suddenly went out all across the Pacific Rim, including the west coast of the United States and the Hawaiian Islands. There were actually evacuations put in place for some parts of the Hawaiian Islands. The tsunami warning has since been rescinded as the waves have now traversed across the Pacific, but still very concerning for what happened overnight. CBS's Jonathan Viglotti has this.
You need to expect that there will be flooding on all of the islands. We expect significant damage along the coastlines.
An urgent warning from the governor of Hawaii ordering people to get to higher ground after one of the world's strongest earthquakes hit off Russia's coast early Wednesday local time, prompting tsunami alerts halfway around the world. Lines of vehicles stretch for miles in Honolulu, with drivers stuck in traffic trying to evacuate.
The roads are full, people trying to move. We ask you to stay calm, cooperate.
It was a similar scene near Waikiki Beach. Airports were shut down and evacuation shelters opened across the state.
We decided to go to elevated ground. We've passed a couple other gas stations that you can't even get in them.
The first tsunami waves hit Hawaii early this morning, flooding parking lots and boat harbors. The largest wave so far was off the coast of Maui, measuring about 6 feet high.
We're past the worst part of it. We're not going to see any impacts bigger than we've already seen.
The tsunami waves were created by a massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake that hit Russia's Far East some 6 hours earlier, interrupting surgeries and damaging buildings. Powerful waves first crashed into Russia's coastline, flooding homes, the largest as tall as 16 feet. Drone video captured the aftermath. And in Japan, people climbed on roofs as tsunami waves hit the shore.
And incredibly, no major injuries have been reported. Here in Southern California, officials are urging caution around the coast, warning specifically of strong rip currents. Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, Malibu, California.
So if you're wondering what is the strongest earthquake the United States has ever recorded, that'd be 1964, Prince William Sound up in Alaska. That earthquake coming in at about between 9.2 and 9.3. That is the strongest ever in the United States. Of course, good news there is that the tsunami warning has now been lifted for the Hawaiian Islands, and most of the worst of this is behind us with no major injuries. Well, back here at home, of course, last week, Stephen Stearns took a plea deal and pled guilty in the Madeline Soto case. Madeline Soto, the young girl who vanished and then her body was later found. News 6 investigative reporter Mike DeForest has been following this case since the very beginning and obtained some new details about this case and some of the conversations Stearns had with his family while he was in jail awaiting trial.
Stephen Stearns is now being held accountable for the rape and murder of Madeline Soto.
You are adjudicated guilty and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
But long before Stearns changed his plea in court, Stearns changed his story about what happened to the 13-year-old.
Do you have any idea where she may be?
No.
Stearns originally told detectives he dropped Soto off at Hunters Creek Middle School, never to be seen alive again. But while locked up in the Osceola County Jail, Stearns told his parents by phone that Soto died the previous night at home in this upstairs room where he and the teen had gone to bed together.
She had gone to be with me earlier in the night, but I left her alone for quite a while.
Oh, she was upstairs. Okay.
Yeah, I left her alone there.
Oh, okay.
I had gone downstairs for a while, and by the time I realized anything was wrong, it was just far too late. She'd been gone for a while. Just seeing her pale face and blue lips and how ice cold she was, and it's great.
Stearns and his parents were so convinced he could face the death penalty, they discussed what his final meal on death row might be. In the final episode of our video series, Justice for Madeline, we'll show you how those jail phone calls may have played a role in Stephen Stearns changing his plea. You can watch all 7 episodes right now on our website, clickorlando.com, or our News 6 YouTube channel. I'm News 6 investigator Mike DeForest.
And as Mike mentioned there is 7 parts to this. Mike has put together a comprehensive series of reports in the Madeline Soto case. Again, both on clickorlando.com and on our YouTube page. Check those out. This is such a tragic story, and Mike has done such a magnificent job chronicling every single step of this the entire way. And we'll be right back. Well, we're back. I mean, something was going on while we were at break. I'm not sure. Something in the newsroom. Not snake-related, not animal-related at all, but something is going on. I don't know. We're doing a show here, and things are just constantly happening. You always say there's no news in the newsroom, but we're 2 for 2 in the last 2 days with news in the newsroom. Okay, to Deltona, where, Angie Casada is our community correspondent for Deltona, lives up there in Volusia County. Actually, went to school up there when she was younger, and reached out to some people because there had been some growing frustration in the Deltona area over high water bills, fluctuating water bills. So she went to the city to ask some questions about what exactly is going on and what can residents do to solve this problem. Angie has this report.
I'm Angie Casada, your Volusia County community correspondent, and I read through all of the complaints that you sent me. A lot of people here in Deltona are frustrated with their water bills. Well, the city says there could be a reason behind those spikes, and they're encouraging folks to come out to get a full breakdown to see what's going on. It's a frustration rippling through Deltona. Residents like Jose are seeing shocking water bills.
I've been a resident here for approximately almost 40 years.
Wow.
And the water bill has increased drastically in the last year and a half. So I'm on a fixed income. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that can't afford the bills nowadays.
The city says a few common issues could be to blame.
I would say that there's usually 3 things that cause a higher bill,
including sprinkler systems, leaky toilets, or unbalanced water softeners, which can flush constantly and go unnoticed. The city says it serves about 38,000 customers, but only 8,000 are on sewer. That small number has to support the cost of treatment, which is why the sewer rates are higher than average. As of Friday, every home in Deltona will have a new smart meter, part of a push to improve transparency and encourage conservation.
If you do have a problem with your bill, or you feel like there's a problem with your bill, contact the city and we will do our very best to figure out what's happening.
City leaders say if you have a concern, don't wait. Bring your bill to City Hall and ask for a breakdown. The first phase of the smart meter app is expected to roll out in September, and if you think your bill is off, the city says that they want to help you figure out why. Reporting in Deltona, I'm your Volusia County community correspondent, Angie Casada, News 6.
So from water issues to traffic issues, the Turnpike is undergoing some construction this week. Now, the section of the Turnpike that's going to actually go under construction, there's not really a lot of good ways to get around this chunk. So they're going to have a detour. And we've all seen detours before, but this one, well, I'll let Stephanie Rodriguez explain. This one's a doozy.
I'm Stephanie Rodriguez reporting near Florida's Turnpike. A major chunk of the Turnpike will be closed during the overnight hours on Thursday. It's a 51-mile stretch that will be closed from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. for construction work. We went ahead and drove the detour that FDOT suggests to give you an idea of what you can expect if you need to take it.
From midnight to 5 a.m. Thursday, you won't be able to drive northbound on Florida's Turnpike, at least for 51 miles of it. The northbound tollway will be closed between Yeehaw Junction and U.S. Highway 441. That's from exit 193 to 242. It's part of Osceola County's Neptune Road widening and improvement project. According to FDOT, the closure is needed for crews to be able to install bridge beams at the Neptune Road Bridge.
There is a posted detour for people that need to use the Turnpike during the overnight hours. It starts here, where drivers going northbound will need to get off of the Turnpike
at exit 193
at Yeehaw Junction and State Road 60. Then you'll be on State Road 60 until you get to US 441. You'll stay on 441 all the way until you get to US 192. That's when you'll turn left to hop on that one and stay on it until you finally get back to the Turnpike.
Here's how all of that looks on a map. It shows the route there to the right of the Turnpike. How long it'll take you depends on traffic. Overnight, it could be less of a headache since there's less traffic, but being prepared to take an alternate route is recommended.
There is a service plaza in the middle of the Turnpike where this will be closed. It's Canoe Creek. Now, if you find yourself there and you still need to go north, you will have to also go south to Yeehaw Junction to be able to take the detour. Reporting by the Turnpike, I'm Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Did you write all that down? you're going to have to go north to go south. Makes total sense to me. But if you saw that map, it's going to be a little confusing out there. Luckily, it is going to happen overnight when traffic will be lesser, but still, would want to be on the Turnpike the next couple of days. All right, now to a major makeover in Melbourne. $1 million for a old marina off of A1A in Melbourne Beach. It's going to become a vital hub for rejuvenating the Indian River Lagoon, which has had many struggles over the last several years with seagrass die-offs and also manatee deaths. So community correspondent Paul Giorgio has this report.
And we just open it up, slip sand inside, just like so.
If restoring the Indian River wasn't hard enough.
This time of the year, this is about where it starts taking that tipping point. Heat index is about 100 or so.
On this day, Mother Nature wasn't making it any easier.
That's Florida for you.
Workers from Sea and Shoreline, a commercial seagrass nursery, try to stay cool as they assemble the foundation for seagrass plantings.
We're making sandbags for the seagrass restoration projects we end up doing out here.
So what's unique about these bags is they are biodegradable, but they also let the roots grow through.
John Thayen, director of marine aquaculture, will tell you obstacles just come with the territory.
So that way, if something comes by and nibbles on it like a turtle or manatee, the roots don't get uprooted.
The nursery is sheltered from the sun and rain. The water is kept at the right temperature. But the science only gets you so far. These plants need to get in the river so they can begin to make a difference.
So it's funny that we can't actually just go straight down there and put the plants into the boat and go, just because it's unsafe. The concrete's unstabilized and the ramp is not usable.
Right now, the plantings have to be put on a truck and driven miles to where they're needed.
Drive it 15 miles to the nearest boat ramp that's closest to those sites and load it back on a boat there.
But the state just approved nearly $1 million for enhancements.
So as you can see, it's in pretty rough shape.
Jeff Ebel with Hub SeaWorld Research Institute made the request. He says that the money will be used to rebuild the seawall and boat ramp, as well as shoring up this dirt road. The projects will help turn the property into a center for conservation aquaculture. It all starts with repairing that seawall.
It is ultimately, it's silly to think about how, a seawall can actually really facilitate conservation. And the more quickly they can get grass out into the lagoon and restore those habitats, the more quickly we're going to see relief for the dolphins, and the more quickly we're going to see restoration of the whole system.
Reporting in Melbourne Beach, I'm Paul Giorgio, News 6.
I can tell you, fixing what's been wrong with the Indian River Lagoon's been a long time project, and it's as Paul mentions there, it's many things. It's the seawall, it's the seagrass, it's getting more and more of the nutrients that flow in there, everything from the fertilizer to the septic tanks, getting that sorted out so that we're not upsetting that beautiful and delicate ecosystem out there. All right. That does it for our time today. As always, thank you to Kathleen, who sits off to my right. You don't get to see her, but we are trying to make that happen. But we'll be back here tomorrow, 12:30, to do this all over again. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to coming up at 4 o'clock for News 6. Otherwise, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a good one.